Hello, everyone. We are doing another live. And why are we doing a live today? Because on Reese Life, Dad Life, we just passed 400 subscribers. And we just wanted to say thank you for everyone that has played a role in us getting to this goal. It is awesome. Thank you. So today we did officially cross the 400 mark on our YouTube channel, Reese Life, Dad Life. And let's kind of walk through the history of the channel, what you can find there if you're checking us out for the first time, or if you've been here and um, been a consistent follower of ours. We're excited just to kind of go back through and tell the story of how we got to 400 subscribers. What do we do? What do we like to do? What is the channel all about? So, first of all, I'd like just a little bit to introduce myself. So I haven't really done this before. So my name is Mike Lotzenheiser. Professionally, I am an urban planner. I do building permits, planning design for my hometown here in Wells County, Indiana, and I'm GIS mapper. But my true passion has always been for the outdoors. From the very earliest age, as soon as my dad could put me in a boat, I have been fishing. So this channel gets me the opportunity to share my passion with you, which is what I love to do. So I really wanted to highlight today, the process that got us to this point. What do we do? How did we start it? Why did we start it? This YouTube fishing journey. Um, so right off the bat, there was kind of a magic little moment that happened a couple years ago that really kicked it off. Had a few friends of ours had been posting pictures of catching fish, and people started talking to me about, like, hey, you should think about doing something. And I posted a picture of my son holding a big fish or something like that. And they just kept kind of pushing me to try to do something. So we had the fateful day out on the Salamone River, which is the very first video that we ever posted um, of Reece catching his easily personal best smallmouth bass. This is before we even had a GoPro. Don't have any film of the actual catch, but just his amazing story, um, telling skill that was just so fun to see him holding the fish right there in the middle of the river. I, he was soaked to the gills. He only had waiting or some muck boots on, so his feet were full of water. But he was just so excited to tell the story about how that bobber went down, way down. He set the hook, and his dad told him to slow down, and he got the big smallmouth in. So if you go back to the very first video that our channel put out, that was him telling that story, and that's just was really kicked off our journey. Since then, we geared up. We got some GoPros. We started to do that. We started to take off on our adventure of this getting out on YouTube, having a fun time, being part of the YouTube fishing family. It really is a family. There's lots of great people out there. It is fun to be part of it, to support other channels, and to feel the support as well. It works both ways. That's one of the great things about being on YouTube, on social media, is that you get to share your passion and you get to see other people and grow and learn. That's what it's all about. And then we really started to kind of feel our way through this process. So right away, we got to post some videos of our fishing trips that we took. out to the Salamone tailwaters, which for years has been kind of like our home base for fishing. Um, Unfortunately, the last 2 years it's been under construction. So this last year and this year, nobody can fish there right now. So except I think it might be open right now, but as soon as the weather gets nice, they're closing it back down. So they're completely reworking it. But before then, if you wanted to find me on a Saturday morning or anytime I can get off, I was at the tailwaters catching crappies, white bass, big catfish, just the greatest place to be. One of the best fisheries in Northeast Indiana by far. So we had some great fishing stories there. Reece was totally enamored by the paddlefish that live in that underneath that dam. Um, and I think one day we accidentally snagged it like 4 times and finally got it up to finally got it after we ran through all our GoPro batteries and finally got it to hold it, and Reece got to pick it up and show everybody. I got a great picture of it. It was super fun. Um, but just kind of walking through this process, you got to see us go into kayak fishing. So that's began a new version of Reece Life Dad Life, and um, allowed us to try different things, go further. Got us into bigger lake fishing, like up to Lake Webster in northern Indiana. Uh, so really, and a lot of river fishing, great stuff, a lot of fun. Really got into kayak fishing because we have a kayak club here in Wells County, and that was a lot of fun to get to learn from them. The experience of what kayaking is all about. But then because I'm a fisherman, we got to combine those great things together. For a second, I just want to say thanks, Puddle Walkers. That is one. It was definitely one of the best episodes there. So thanks for leaving that comment. So we kept on moving on. So we get the kayaks. So I get one to start. And then Reece gets old enough to really get into it as well. So we get another one. And this is where my wife starts to make fun of me of like, well, you just got a kayak last year. Why do you need another one? Well, Reece is going to use the one, and I'm going to use the next one. Well, now I have 3. So the third one has a trolling motor. And so there's a short little highlight thing on Dad Life Fishing Adventures channel, which I'll explain that here in a little bit. A little spinoff project of mine. But it's to open up more fishing opportunities, more big water fishing opportunities, because if you kayak fish long enough, your arms give out at a certain period of time. Just paddle, 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 fight the wind, hide from the wind, or work your way down river. But you don't have the ability just to fish. So the addition of the trolling motor is going to really open the game up. But it would only be used in open water conditions, like out on reservoirs, big lakes, stuff like that, some ponds. But a lot of fun there. So, but we've had a lot of great adventures over the last 2 years. Being out on the water, Reece and I got to see Reece catch his biggest largemouth bass last year. That was a lot of fun. He definitely caught his biggest crappie last year as well. So just a lot of fun things to see him grow up and experience this. And this whole thing just goes back to this father-son bond that we have about being in the outdoors. And not every time that we go outside do we go fishing. So Reece Life Dad Life is about hiking. It's about adventures. It's about sledding down hills. It's about all sorts of stuff. But we always culminate back to this world of fishing that we enjoy, which is one of the reasons why I decided to create Dad Life Fishing Adventures, as that would always be a avenue to show fishing only content out there, as I do a lot of fishing by myself. Um, and felt that there was a good split between things that I was doing with Reece and things I was doing on my own there to highlight both things. So that was why we created both channels, and to get a little bit more technical on the fishing side. And so focusing on the fun adventures that we do, father and son, is a big thing for Reece Life, Dad Life. So again, we're just so thankful that we got to 400 subscribers. I think multiple times my wife told me that, like, what, is this worth it? Like, you go through, you put all this time into putting videos together. Some of them don't get a lot of views. Some of them really surprise you, and you just don't know how everything's going to work when you start. But what I would say is that it's been a pleasure to do it and to meet everyone, because part of it has turned into this whole thing of like, hey, I wonder how this is being done. And then you watch a video of a fellow fisherman out there and they're doing exactly what you're doing or wanting to do. And you're like, oh, well, maybe I could try that, try this, do this. And Reece has really enjoyed that too. And a matter of fact, I think he knows some of you guys fairly well, just as like, we'll be like, hey, I was watching a video from Puddle Walkers or Fish Smack or wherever, and he's like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And he's like so excited about him. So we have this kind of journey about how he wants to be like, hey, let's watch a video today or whatever. And it's priceless entertainment. And definitely well worth it to be out there and do it. We're excited. Today we crossed the 400 mark. And a matter of fact, I just checked the channel stats here, and we're actually at 402. That's awesome. So thanks for the 2 newest subscribers to the channel today. So that is super awesome. But it's all about the journey. It's about the long-term thing, and it's about what we're trying to do is sharing the adventures of Reece and I. And if you've seen our other lives when he joins in, I'd have to start earlier in the day so he's not in bed already, obviously. But he has such a fun attitude, and really does love to just get dirty. Just the other day, the conditions were terrible, but we decided to go check a local creek out just to see if there was anything happening. It was pretty flooded out, so nothing was going on fishing wise. But him and a friend decided to build a dam. Yeah. Dammed up a little stream that was pouring into the creek. And they had this whole process of getting mud and dead grass and rocks, and we're building up this dam. And that's just Reece. That is who he is just this go get 'em type guy. And just really excited to see him grow up into that. So if there is an animal to go find outdoors, so if we're walking somewhere and he sees a bird nest, he's the type of kid that's going to be up in the tree, seeing if the eggs are there, if the eggs have hatched, any of that stuff. That's what he's all about. And that's super fun to watch him grow up into that. Last year we caught a snake. Why? Because we watched Coyote Peterson. If you have kids, or if you don't, and you haven't seen a Coyote Peterson episode on Brave Wilderness, it's outdoors super fun. And so he's determined that we're going to catch one of the water snakes in our local pond that we go fishing at quite often. And lo and behold, one day we did it. So it was quite the fun experience. I don't think he was quite ready for it to be so alive. So he kind of got super scared about it for a moment, but now he talks like he's going to go do it again. So that was all part of it. But he is I always say that he's the kid with frog eyes. The kid can find a frog walking around the pond like nothing else. And we love to try to catch them as well. That's super fun. So if you checked out, we've got some videos and photos throughout the time of us using bass baits to catch frogs, because that seems to be the best way to do it. They attack anything. You just have to be patient and get them. So that is a blast. Thanks, Todd Bain, for the shout out. Greatly appreciate the kind words. Again, we're here live celebrating 400 subscribers. We're celebrating how you guys have supported us over the time. So thank you so much. Thanks from Reece and I for what is going on with our channel. And this is winter time here in Indiana. That means that we just are at the tail end of ice fishing season, and this has been a fun time for us. This year we've really embraced ice fishing more than we have in the past. As if it's going to be, we need to go fishing, we need to have fun. Let's get outside and make it happen. So even got the whole family out on the ice one time. And a matter of fact, I've had Harper, our youngest, out on ice a couple times. The last time she took about an hour and a half nap while I tried to trick a couple fish to come through the hole and up to the top side. So it's a family affair being outdoors and having fun. So that is super, super awesome what we get to share with you and what you get to share with us. And so always fun, always exciting, always super thankful. I love hearing from you guys, and I love sharing with you things. And I think that's where the great benefit of doing this is that we get to learn and we get to share. And it goes both ways. So I think each one of us has something we do well and stuff that we struggle with, and to put those things together is what it's all about. All right. So any lure that you're excited about trying this season? Yes, there are. So actually, probably my most exciting lure right now, that's like my total focus is trying to actually catch a measurable size muskie this year. So I got 2 musky top water baits that I'm super excited about using. So one is the 120 size Whopper Plopper, which is actually on the table next to me. So this fella right here, I am excited about using. And who knows, it might catch a bass. It's a very large bait. Or maybe a big northern pike when we're up in Minnesota. And then I've got a more traditional, larger sized one. But also got a fun prize pack from Live to Fish from a giveaway that has got a bunch of baits that I've never used before. And I say that those, I'm very interested to see how they produce compared to the things that I would feel comfortable with. So both those things, musky baits and trying out these new baits. I'll tell you, giveaways are kind of a fun way of doing things. And I think if you allow them to stretch you, if you're lucky enough to win one, that you can really get into something that you're not into right now. And so, and being that it's completely new stuff, I think those are definitely something that we're excited about. So again, thank you for being part of the Reece Life Dad Life family. 400 subscribers is a milestone I didn't know that we were actually going to meet at a period of time. Matter of fact, my channel seemed to like a waver back and forth, just under 400 for what seemed like an eternity, but it wasn't really. But was super fun to get there, to cross it, and now we're going forward. And I just can't wait for this fishing season to get in full steam and see where we can go. Um, ooh, are you going to do a challenge video with the Live the Fish lures? Well, they're definitely going to be highlighted in videos. They'd probably be on each one's individual one. So what I really want to do is I want to take out each one and like get to learn them separately. I think um, they really have like a unique, fun experience with like the bass fishing aspects of like going and hitting the Salamone River and seeing which one does better for smallmouth bass, hitting the Rock Creek, our local awesome creek that we have here in the area. Those are the things I'm excited about. Let's see, Todd Bain. I used the 120 on the river, never caught anything on the lake. Keep us posted if we catch a big one. Oh, trust me, if I catch a measurable size muskie, it will be everywhere because it's been like a year and a half now of studying and learning how that's going to go. So you betcha you will see it. I promise. So that has been from early last year. I've been like focused on trying to learn something that I have not yet, and muskie fishing is it. It's the apex freshwater predator, and it's available here in northern Indiana, which is exciting. And my close call, I'll call it the close call, the fish that broke the hook next to my kayak, that is is just made me more addicted to the idea. So I've done most of my muskie. Thanks for asking, Puddle Walkers. I've do most of my muskie fishing up in Lake Webster, so just northwest of Columbia City. Up, but I got some friends that have said, "Hey, try it. Webster's good." But to hit Loon Lake, which is just kind of south and east of there. So both of those things are kind of like day-long fishing events for me. Go up there, strap the kayak on, get all ready, get up there first light, and see how long I can muscle my way through it and see what the action is. My action came last year almost entirely in October. So that is a big focus for me. But I do want to fish later in May and early June this year instead of early in March and April. So that we'll see where all that goes. It just depends on the old calendar and the schedule and when I'm free to go do it. So, but that's where I'm at. Awesome. Yeah, thanks, Todd. Yeah, I love the Whopper Plopper so much. So I just have this feeling that I love the 90 just was a light 'em up lure last year for me. Huge smallmouth, just awesome. Big largemouth, everything was working on it. I was like, if I could get the bigger version of that thing, it just calls in fish. I don't know what's up with it. I thought it was a gimmicky lure for years till I bought my first one, and now I guess I'm part of the gimmick. So that's its own thing right there. It's a lot of fun. I can't deny it. Learning new baits. The Whopper Plopper was my new bait from last year, and I don't think I can ever put it down. So that's part of the challenge. But the go-to bait that I will have the hardest time putting down is actually what I would call the Indiana rig, which is the two 1/8 ounce jig heads with little twister tails on it. And that um, is my go-to, like my safety bait. If I go to the river and start fishing and I want to catch fish, that's what I put on, and it catches everything. But to stretch myself, we got to learn how to do other things, and that's super fun, to try other things, but it can be frustrating when they don't work. And you'd be like, oh, I should have just put this on and I would have caught fish today. But if you don't try anything, you don't ever find that whopper plopper, which you just love. And yes, so the 75. So I got Reece one of the 75s for Christmas this year. And you would have thought that I gave him like the Holy Grail. His face was just amazing. And yeah, totally. Thank you. Tailspin, or for smallmouth in the cold water, you should, especially around rock. I'll definitely check that out because everywhere that I fish for smallmouth bass is around rock for sure. Our two best smallmouth fisheries here are totally rock bottom rivers and streams. So that'll definitely be on the look. I'll have to look that up. Thank you for sharing. Again, thank you. 400 subscribers. Wow. Just wow. And 52 on Dad Life Fishing Adventures. Both of those things are awesome. What a week. What a week. What a week. And it's all because of you guys. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Just talk a little bit more about what we got planned for the year. Again, more kayak fishing, more smallmouth bass fishing. Let's see what happens. I've got a pond I've got to get back to. I caught my biggest largemouth bass, but unfortunately I had nothing to measure with. I know it was my biggest largemouth bass I've ever caught. But unfortunately I have no idea how long it was. Should have done the pole measuring thing, never did it. It was kind of bleeding and I panicked and kind of put it back. I do have video of it. It's on the channel. It was the best video last year for us on a shorts thing, which kind of leads to something else. This whole YouTube fishing thing has really pushed me out of my comfort zone because, and I'll say this, like, why? I love going outdoors and like being alone, like getting lost. I always say, hey, I'm not going to get lost outdoors or whatever. And having Reece with me has been an awesome, companionship thing in that process. But it's easier for me to like stay inside of myself, to be a little introverted at times. So sharing these things out there and being real is a big thing, hard thing for at times, but has been growing on me, pushing me. So that has been kind of fun to expand myself, to grow. And that the big bass, I had to like kind of conquer a little bit of my probably my number one issue with filming on YouTube is that I have a hand trimmer. So if I want to show you something that I'm holding, like a bait or a fish, not as much because I can hold on to them tight. My hands shake. And I remember when I posted the video of me catching that big bass, and people commented about, hey, why are your hands shaking? Did you drink a lot of caffeine that day? And I'm like, oh no, that's the worst thing ever. They found out that I have this problem. But you know what? It's great because it's helping everything, and it's fun. Not every moment that Reece and I go out fishing has it been just is a blast. There's lots of times when it's not. Yeah. So any father and son duo, we have our great times, and we have the times when we can get a little frustrated with each other. But overall, it's just been super fun, and growing, learning, caring is all about it. Whether it's being a dad or being an example to others, you've got to do it. So thank you. It's what it's all about. It's why we do it. It's more than what we could ever think of. And yeah, I can't believe if you would have told me a couple of years ago that I'd be sitting here at 11:23 at night talking to people about fishing live, I would have thought you were pretty silly. But here we are, having fun, making a blast, doing this thing. So, and yeah, that's awesome. As Reece gets older, his abilities grow. Last year, we got him a pair of waders. I'm a little nervous they don't fit, so that's a problem. Bree made fun of me the other day for that. Like, I told you, you probably have to buy bigger ones or buy them again. But I bought him waders because he finally was tall enough to wade. That was the biggest problem when he was younger. He wasn't tall enough to stand up in the river next to me. And so he had to kind of like work on things, and I would pick him up and carry him across the river and station him in shallow water. And so it worked. It worked. So we might be upgrading those waders this year because the kid, I think he's grown like 4 inches since last year. So we'll see what's going on. But as he grows up, he keeps changing. So when he's a teenager, that'll be even more. He'll be beating me in fishing by then. My dad said the same thing. So when I can be a teenager, like, oh, I'm a better fisherman than you are. Like, well, that's just because I spent more time out there than he did. He is now more of a fair weather fisherman. That would be his joke. He's a fair weather fisherman, but he can put it on when the game's on. He is still the best. So, but again, thank you, 400 subscribers. It's all about you. It's all about you. We greatly appreciate it. Reece Life, Dad Life, and Dad Life Fishing Adventures are out there for your viewing pleasure. The one stat that I don't know, it's kind of shocking, is it seems like in some ways I just started doing this. In other ways, it seems like I've been doing it forever. But I'm looking at our video count, and go to this here real quick. If you want to have some fun times watching fishing life, father and son life, all that good stuff, we have 240 videos for you to check out. And there's a lot of good stuff on there. Many of them, just the way YouTube works, didn't get out there very far. And that's okay. Some of them that we put out there surprise us like crazy, and do very well. So that is part of it. It's a bunch of fun trying it. As Reece and I have been, our term for the day is it's a poop shoot. You don't know. You put your best stuff out there. You sometimes you mess up and put the wrong title, or don't, maybe use the wrong imagery on the front, and things don't work out the best. But every time that we do it, we just get a little bit better. I was looking back at a series of videos, and I noticed that they did a lot better than the other ones that we did. So we're going to be kind of redoing some branding stuff to follow what I did for those videos. Why I stopped, I don't know. I guess I didn't know that they were doing that well until I looked back at them. But that's what it's all about. It's all about growing. YouTube, it's not easy. If it was easy, everybody would be super successful at it. But it's fun just being there and doing it and trying it and learning. That is what it's all about. If you're not learning, not trying, then you're just kind of, fluttering about and not growing as fast as what you could. And, um, so I hope if you take away anything from our channel is to keep on trying, keep on persevering, and maybe someday um, we'll get to those really big level goals of getting to the top of the mountain. Maybe we'll not, but we'll have a fun time sharing our adventures, sharing with our family, our YouTube fishing family, the whole time. And we're at 400 subscribers. When we started, we were at one, and that was me. So we came a long way. I think I had to force my wife to subscribe. So that's all part of that story there. So, but no, thank you, appreciate it. So if we're wrapping up here, so again, thank you. Looking forward to a great season out there in the fishing world. Looking forward to learning more good stuff. Um, got a lot of good people out there, a lot of good fun coming up. I can't wait to see your videos. I can't wait to share with you what we're going to be doing. Every time you hit the water, you don't know what's going to happen. You really don't. You have some idea, but you do not know. And, something crazy is going to happen this year. And I hope that it's on camera this year for us. Who knows what it's going to be? It's going to be a big bass. It's going to be something else. It's going to be something. So thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Puddle Walkers, for the kind word. We're glad to go live, glad to have fun, glad to celebrate this milestone with each and every one of you. And we will see you out on the water next time. Peace. Thank you, everyone.